When we get up in the morning, along with coffee, toast, and cake. If you're like the old Stone Roadie, you like to wake and bake. Now let's join Craig, Reed, and Griff Martin as we head out on the road. So sit right back and buckle right in. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Time to rise and shine. I'm Shelby Barrett, the Stoned for the Stoned Roadie Show, and it's time to Wake and Bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
So here I'm at the security gate at the Lynyrd Skynyrd show in at Clay's Park in Lawrence, Ohio, pretty close to my house. And yeah, I was talking to all these security guys in there, and yeah, they went in and asked the Skynyrd people. I told the Skynyrd people who I was, and showed them my pass from my stage pass from plane crash. I'll get it off of my neck here. Yeah, I showed them my stage pass from around my neck here, and this camera I'm using, I'm not very good. Anyway, there it is. There's my pass I showed them to get in, and yeah, the guys were pretty cool, the security guys out there, but they sent a message backstage that I was here, and apparently the tour manager said that yeah, they couldn't let me in. Yeah, I told them a plane crash survivor is here and stuff, but yeah, Craig Reed was here, a plane crash survivor, but they couldn't let me in. So I guess they got a hold of management, and management told them not to let me in. So we'll see if we can get somebody to talk to us here. Hi there.
You can't do that.
Can't do that?
Stop.
Okay. All right. So, anyways, that's the story. That's the story. I tried to get into the Skynyrd show, and they wouldn't let me in. So, yeah, there you go.
Talked about Gary Rossington, obviously a huge loss. Now, he was one of the original big three, the founding of the band. Well, what was the conversation like to carry on, and what's the situation with the estate?
Well, after his untimely passing, we talked a lot. And again, everybody who's ever been a part of Skynyrd's a family.
Yeah,
it really is. It's a big family. And
The Stoned Roadie Show, podcast 208, action. Alrighty then, looky here, fellow Earthlings. It's the Stoned Roadie Show, podcast 208, and it's Monday, and it's August the 12th, 2024, and it's another Wake and Bake, the morning buzz here on a Monday. Go back to work on Monday for you all you Earthlings still working. So it's going to be a really good show today, ain't it, Griff? What are we going to talk about today there, Griff?
We got a few things we can talk about.
Well, hold on a minute. I don't think I made my introductions. My name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stoned Roadie, also known as the most famous roadie on the face of the earth since the dawn of time, and my co-host, the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. So, sorry about that. Yeah, proceed, please.
You know that Zach does that Tarzan entry, Craig?
Oh, yeah.
And I was reading something about, do you remember that the Tarzan that took over the real Tarzan? He was like Tarzan 2, It was Ron Ely.
Yeah, Johnny
And
Weissmelder was the first one.
yeah, and then Ron Ely came in, and the boy Jai. Remember the boy Jai? Well, that kid Jai, he's dead. He died. It's I don't know, a little while ago. And then I read a thing about that Ron Ely back in 2019. I guess he he had a physical problem, and he was in a wheelchair, and his old lady Valerie London or Lundeen Eli. I think she was beating up on him or something, and then the boy went and got a knife and stabbed her to death. And then the police came over and shot the boy. And yeah, that was some crazy stuff happened to old Tarzan too. Ron Ely, I guess he survived it. Now he's suing the police department because he said they killed his wife and they killed his son. So a little drama there with Tarzan. And then you had a little drama too, Craig. You tried to go see Lynyrd Skynyrd, and you went backstage, and then they told you to get the hell out. What happened, man?
Well, yeah, I'll just go ahead and tell the story. We don't you normally talk about the tribute band Skin Formation, but yeah, since this is about me, we might as well talk about it a minute. Yeah, yeah, that Clay's Park where they played is only, God, it's 15, 20 minutes from right here from my front door, man. It's really close. So I went down there about 1:30. I figured they'd have all the trucks and everything unloaded and stuff about 1:30. So I went down there and had a whole bag full of my laminated passes and stuff for ID. I had a bunch of my Stone Roadie business cards and had my laminate. You've seen that thing I had on the post I put up when I went down there of my Tour of the Survivors pass that I had on the airplane crash, and I just went up to the back gate back there, and I said, "Hey, man, I'm Craig Reed. I'm one of the original roadies for Lynyrd Skynyrd, and I was an airplane crash survivor." And showed him my. There was about 4 guys come around my car back there, and we were standing around. And once they found out who I was, they go, "Oh, no kidding, cool." I said, "Yeah." I said, "The band." I said, "They don't know I live around here, and I just kind of show up. I just want to, come in and talk to." It was 1:30. The band weren't anywhere near there. I said, "I just, I toured with ZZ Top, and they were playing too, and it was the local stagehand union that puts on the thing. So I know a bunch of those guys that would have been in there, and." I still know a couple of the Skinner crew guys and stuff, so I just thought it'd be fun to just show up in the day and just meander around and talk to some people. I didn't really care about staying and seeing the show. Really, I just went there early. So I told all these security guys back there, were right where the door was to where all the stage was and everything was right there. And I'm, telling these guys, and so I had some of my Stone Roadie business cards. So I'm out there signing it. I was talking to these security guys, God, for 5 or 10 minutes, and they were all going, "Oh, God, cool. I bet the band will be glad to see you, man. How long's it been since you've seen them and all that?" And I go, I was telling them and signing all these business cards and everything for him. And then finally, I told the guys, he says, "What's your name again?" And I told him, and he's, so he went back. I said, "Yeah, just tell him one of those, the plane crash survivors was here, one of the original roadies, Craig Reed. They know who I am." So he went back there and got about, then he went back there, and then And then I seen there was a blonde lady, kind of an attractive blonde lady on a golf cart that came out, and I looked at her and she looked at me, and I assumed she was from the production office, some kind of a production assistant or something, and I pretty sure she came out here to check out who I was, you know. So then a few minutes later, a security guy come up to me. He goes, "Man, they said they don't want you in here." And I goes, "Who said that?" And he goes, "The tour manager." I goes, "No kidding." So that's when I got out my camera and said, "Yeah, here I am standing out here, and been out here about 10 minutes, you know." And I was, you know, and you know, now they say I'm not welcome, you know. So I just kind of left, you know, and then I came home and I, you know, just wanted to. I had that film, you know, so I put it up on FakeBook, you know, that I went to the Skynyrd show and put up the film, or they said I wasn't allowed in there, you know. So I don't know. This morning I started getting all kind of feedback from, "You got to be kidding me, you know? You mean they wouldn't let you in the show? Oh my God, that's unbelievable, you know. It's Lynyrd Skynyrd, airplane crash survivor, not allowed in the venue, you know. And I'm not thinking anything really big about it because I'm not the only one. I mean, Leon Wilkerson's son, they've thrown him out of a couple of shows, and well, they tried to. I was working up here for the union. And working a Skynyrd show, and the manager seen me and went to the union guy and told him he wanted me to send me home. And the union guy said, "What for? You know, he's here to work. He's not here to associate with you people. I'm not sending him home. He's not here to associate with you people. He's here to work. You know, there's no need to send him home. You know." So yeah, he was all pissed off because they wouldn't send me home. He didn't want me there. You know, so, you know, it wasn't no surprise to me that they wouldn't deny me access. But, yeah, I guess I heard that Joel Powell, Billy Powell's son, tried to contact the office and, you know, tried to go to a show, and he never heard back from him, you know. And, yeah, that's just the way things are these days. If you're not in
you think it has something to do with well, it could be that you told them they can't use your movies anymore because they weren't paying you for it, and they were just, you know.
Oh, the manager, he never has liked me.
And then there's the Gary Rossington funeral brochure, but that's just normal Craigisms, man. You know, I mean, that's you know what the Stone Roadie's known for, being the Stone Roadie. I mean, if you can't, I mean, you were with the original band more so than those guys up on stage, even. You know, so those
guys. The manager, I think I was on tour with Lynyrd Skynyrd before he was born.
Yeah, I don't care how you roll it and smoke it. It's shitty. It's just
everybody thinks it's real. It was a horrible thing for him to do. But then now they've came out with a comeback. I guess they came back on one of those Skynyrd sites and said it was a big mistake that they didn't know they didn't even know I was there, and that I had showed up with all they know was some guy showed up with an old laminated pass and at the back gate, and that happens all the time, and they didn't even bother to investigate, you know, and you know, that's pretty lame, you know. But I'm sure the guys went back and said, you know, I was real specific with those security guys, and they were. Like I said, they were kind of honored that I was to be talking to me. All those security guys were. They were going, "God, you were on the plane crash," and you know.
Well, all I know is if I were somebody that one of the people, they went up to somebody and they said, "Hey, there's a plane crash survivor, original roadie for Lynyrd Skynyrd," is out back here. His name's Craig Reed. I wouldn't just like go up to anybody and go, "Hey, there's a guy trying to get in back here," you
Well,
know.
no, he said the tour manager. He said
Yeah.
the tour
Oh,
manager.
yeah.
He said the tour manager denied me access. And like I said, there was a lady, a blonde lady, that came out on a golf course, and I'm 99% positive she was from the production office to come back and check me out to see who I was. But you know, she didn't even take enough interest to get off the cart. She just kind of looked at me, and I could tell she would. She just looked at me and then went back. So if they're not smart enough to figure out that if a plane crash survivor, somebody from the plane crash comes and says they're a plane crash survivor, they should probably do some investigation on it, because if fans find out that one of the plane crash survivors showed up at a show and wasn't allowed access, there's probably going to be some bad publicity. But I don't think these people. I don't know. Lynyrd Skynyrd's kind of a legend, and I don't. Whoever's managing them doesn't. If they don't get it, I don't know. They should get it, but they just don't get it, man. The kind of stigma that this band has created, and God, just like for me, people consider me a legend. They say, man, screw those people. You belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Screw those people. Those people aren't nobody. Screw those people. They're just a tribute band. They're just, and just all kind of stuff they're telling me. But I've never put down the tribute band. Like I've always said, Ronnie always said my little brother will probably be singing my songs one of these days, and his premonition came true. And I don't have anything against Ricky. Ricky, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the originals. And Michael, I worked with Michael, the drummer. God, he's from Damn Yankees. God, been with Skinner now for dang 30 years. And I think Michael and all the band guys that play with the band, I think they're aware of the legend that they're taking the reins for. I mean, Damien. I'm a big fan of Damien that took Gary's place. He's played with everybody. He's played with Alice Cooper. I love Alice Cooper, but God, Damien's played with all kind of people. And Sparky, he's from Charlie Daniels, and Peter Keys. I've never met Peter Keys, but people say he's a really nice guy, and I've never met the bass player at all. And of course, I know Carol Chase, the backup singer, but I don't have anything against any of those people, But I've been treated rather bad by the management and a couple of the other people that are affiliated with that band, and I guess there's some bad blood between us. It's kind of heartbreaking that I'm not family with those people anymore like I used to be. I was best friends with all the original members, and I don't think there's anybody you can ask that won't agree with that. I was best friends with Gary and Alan and Leon and Billy and Ronnie and Steve and even the girls. We were all like a big family, but that kind of went to the wayside, especially with this new manager. It's just I hate to say it like that, but it's just turned into a money machine. It's as far as the way I've been treated and the way I've been misled in certain situations about my films and stuff. It's I thought we were friends. I thought we were family, but I've been deceived.
Well,
so.
I could read a few comments here. It would really, I mean, there's some pissed off people about it, like this person. These guys are not Lynyrd Skynyrd, dude. I'm not. the least bit surprised at them stabbing you in the back. And they are worthless. Shake it off. You were with the real band. These are zombies. Whatever you were with the real Lynyrd Skynyrd, you don't need them now. You've got the Stoned Roadie show. Craig, you weren't trying to get into a Lynyrd Skynyrd concert. You were trying to get into a tribute Lynyrd Skynyrd concert, and on and on and on and on, which, I could see why it would piss people off, regardless of the band not knowing if that, it was Craig Reed out there or not. If they found out about it and they don't do anything, granted, you ain't, perfect. Everybody's got their
there's absolutely no excuse for not allowing somebody that was on that airplane with that band to come in and watch your show. There's absolutely no excuse, and whoever made that decision is absolutely just disgraceful. Anybody that would be on that airplane with that band would have a certain connection with that band and want to more or less stay connected with it, and for somebody to deny you that right, it's because they're on some kind of a power trip. It's totally inconceivable. It's just it's inhumane, really. It's it's like I talk about mental illness. There's mental illness is rampant these days, and
well, everybody, I put it up at the beginning of the podcast, that little video that you filmed trying to get in there. To me, that was a very sad thing. It broke my heart to see a member.
Oh, I got phone calls all day long. And we're going to talk about Mark Howard here in a minute, one of his escapades. But he even called me and goes, Craig, what the hell's going on? And I told him he couldn't believe it. And I've gotten all kind of calls today going, I just can't believe they could be that ruthless, And then they're trying to deny it now, there's no denying it. That's what happened, they're
well, it's not the first time it's happened with other people.
No, it's not a coincidence. It's happened before.
It's pretty clear, and if it falls on the wrong ears, I'm sure it's not going to look good for them because if somebody finds out about it and then wants to do an interview with you and go, hey, I heard you got kicked out of the damn Lynyrd Skynyrd concert. Weren't you on the plane? Weren't you the original roadie with Lynyrd Skynyrd? Didn't you?
I didn't get kicked out. I wasn't even allowed in.
No, they told you to leave.
Yeah,
not only did they tell
you're not allowed in here. Leave your premises.
Yeah, leave. They kicked you the hell out, man.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad. That's what would
and then come back and say they didn't know who I was. It's pretty lame,
what would Ronnie think about that?
Boy,
would Ronnie be pissed off about that? I think he would. I don't think you've done anything that bad. I mean, you almost got killed on the damn plane, and then you came back and worked with them. So what? You walked down the aisle of the bus peeing on some of them.
Well, I had hepatitis. I had hepatitis C, and I was taking that damn medicine that didn't agree with me. The same medicine that Gary Rossington was taking at the same time that didn't agree with him in the same ways, but I'm a roadie and he's the prez. So
well, he wasn't mad at you. He called you.
No, me and Gary called me 2 weeks before he died and said he loved the podcast, and man, it wasn't him. He heard that people were giving me shit about doing this podcast, and said, man, it's not me. He said, I've been watching your podcast. I love it. I think it's funny. He said, I'm not worried about anything you could say about me. I don't have nothing to hide.
Well, didn't you say that they don't like the plane crash? They get depressed over the plane crash survivors.
Yeah, when I was with the band, there would be plane crash. I would be back in the dressing room because I was back there with them a lot, and there would be word would come back that there was a plane crash survivor there, and the attitude was like, oh crap, one of them plane crash survivors. I said, I hate to feel like this about that situation, but when those people come back here, it's depressing. It's like they
well, it's depressing when you lose.
They want to hear those stories, and they're all hurt and banged up and in wheelchairs and crutches, and seeing them like that before a show, it's depressing. I just don't like to see those people before a show. So a lot of them weren't allowed access to the backstage. They would give them tickets and tell them to stay out front, and I thought that sucked.
Well, how about this, Craig?
They should have them up on stage and say, "Hey, look who's here, plane crash survivors." And that's what everybody thinks, man. They should have you up on stage going, "Hey, we got a plane crash survivor here." And instead of that, they don't even want you in the building. It's that kind of attitude I don't understand. I'm still trying to comprehend what the hell's going on.
How about when Kenny Peden died and nobody even said a peep about it? The guy, he didn't hurt anybody. I mean, it's just the neglect. I mean, just ignoring them and hoping they go away. I mean, I don't know. I don't.
Well, somebody made the comment. He goes, even Ed King, said this thing that they try to, this propaganda they try to portray as we're all a bunch of families, bullshit. That's what Ed King said.
Well, it's proven itself.
It seems that way. True. I mean, like they say, actions speak louder than words. And
there's no excuse for it, in my opinion. Those were people that were working for Ronnie Van Zant and Lynyrd Skynyrd, and they were injured on the plane, and now you just ignore them. It's like saying, I don't want to see my grandmother because she's sick and decrepit. It depresses me, so I'm just gonna stick her back in the bedroom and ignore her.
Well, Paul Walsh's sister said that Paul tried to get in and see him, and that he had a very rough time. I don't know if he ever got in or not. But they said it was kind of irritating trying to get in. I don't know if they ever did or not.
Well, Craig, I mean, that's on them. That's on them. That's not on you. You were just going there to see your old road crew buddy.
Yeah, I didn't care about seeing the show. I really didn't. I've seen it. I've seen it enough. I just wanted to talk to some of the crew guys, some of the ZZ guys, and some of the local crew that I worked with here locally. It was a local show right here, local.
And you've never said anything bad about the band.
I've never said nothing.
You've always wished Johnny.
I never did anything to those people to be treated like this. I've never done anything, except for, like I said, when I got hepatitis and I wasn't functioning like I should, and yeah, I peed on the bus when I was having.
Hey, you were drunk.
I was having problems with that medication. Of course, I was drinking too. I'm not gonna not accept any responsibility for my actions. But I got brain damage, man. My brain's been injured from that airplane crash and from that lifestyle. And yeah, I made mistakes, and but that. Having that hepatitis and taking that medication and trying to deal with brain damage and all the other things I was trying to deal with, and Gary Rossington was going through the same thing at the same time, having the same problems I was. He tripped and said he tripped and fell forward and knocked his teeth out or something, and I'm going, well, that's funny. I don't have those kind of symptoms from that medicine, so, he was doing other things that he was not being truthful about his lifestyle either, and trying to act like he was cleaning up, and he was just as guilty as me and Leon and Billy or any of us. So
Well, I know when they sing that song,
that's the way addicts do. They,
when
I
they
can do it, but you can't.
when they sing that song, "What's Your Name, Little Girl?" They know who that song was written about, and it's a damn shame that the guy that has got a song written about him, original roadie, on the plane when it went down, and you can't even come back and say hi. And it's just, to me, it's bullshit.
I was putting gasoline in the vehicles to get from gig to gig using my credit card. That's how far I go back with that band, and now I'm not allowed in. After
it's
being
not
in
like
the
you
plane
do it all
crash
the
and
time.
having brain damage from being on that thing,
It's
going through all that trauma. That's bullshit.
It's not like you do it all the time.
Anybody that was on that plane should be welcome in any of those shows, period.
Yeah, it's not like you do it all the time. But anyway, so we'll just move on and tell that little story about Mark Howard.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Mark Howard. He puts on Facebook, he's like, talking about he cut the end of his finger off working on a lawnmower. And
he told me he had said, I had somebody helping me because I got so much stuff to do. And, he says, I'm not really that capable of doing a lot of stuff. And he said, this guy was doing more sitting than he was working. I said, I was all irritated, paying more attention to him than what I was doing, and stuck my head down there under the mower and cut the tip of my finger off.
Was it running?
Yeah.
God dang.
Yeah, he stuck his hand up under that thing, and the blade caught him and cut the tip off his face. Just cut the fingernail off.
And then Gene Odom gets on Facebook and goes, "You ain't gonna have nothing left. You keep cutting stuff off."
He said when he did it, he said, I can't believe I did it, man. He said, I just couldn't believe it. He said, I was telling that guy, call 911, and the guy was going, what? Call 911. What? Never mind.
And old Mark, I've talked to him before. I remember when he had COVID, and I was calling and checking on him because he had COVID for 3 months and he almost died. I'm not kidding. He wouldn't go to the hospital, and I didn't blame him because he was afraid they were going to kill him. And he didn't even answer the phone for like one time for about 3 weeks, and then finally I got a hold of him, and he goes, I feel like I'm gonna die. I got to go to the hospital. And so he went down there, and I don't think he let him admit him, but they gave him something, and it took him about 3 months to get over that COVID. I'll never forget that. Then he had to get his leg cut off, and now he cut his finger off. Oh, Mark, man. Watch out, man. Don't be working on a damn lawnmower, What do you need to work? Who's cutting the grass? I don't know. I mean, I know he ain't cutting the grass.
I've had two of my friends here that are retired that don't go really anywhere that have gotten COVID here lately. My buddy called me months ago and said, Craig, I want you to go to that Skynyrd show with me. And I goes, I'm not going to that thing. I don't really care to go. That's what I told him a couple months ago. He said, I'm going. I called him today, and I goes, man, how was Lynyrd Skynyrd yesterday? And he goes, I didn't go. I had COVID. And then my other friend had it. Yeah, I haven't had COVID. I haven't had the flu. I haven't had a cold. I haven't really had anything.
Yeah, when we were both at that monument back in October, I caught COVID, and I thought I was going to die, and you never caught anything.
No, I don't get sick. I don't get sick. I haven't got sick since 1974 when I got all those shots to go over to Europe. I swear to God, I haven't. That's
Man,
crazy.
you
I used to
must be-
get self-induced. I got self-induced sickness a lot of times, but
Yeah, I've known you
never,
get.
never no kind of bugs or nothing.
I've known you having self-induced sicknesses many
Yeah,
times
yeah, a couple
with the
times,
mushrooms and the gummies and but it's never you've never had a cold or anything that I
Them
can
mushrooms,
remember.
man, they've been knocking me out. I eat them damn things, and God, the next day I can't get up. I just want to lay around all day. They're bad for me, man.
That's
I
what
eat those mushrooms. I can't do nothing the next day.
Gene
Or
said
I don't
that
feel like doing nothing.
Gene said Bob Burns used to like to do those mushrooms a lot.
They didn't used to make me I don't know what's that word.
Well, you got a lot of weed in your
The next
blood.
day, you know.
You know, you put some weed and then top it off with a mushroom, you know. I mean, I could see it being hard to sleep.
The lethargic. There you go. I got those words are in there. I just got to send a search in there and find them. Like there it is, lethargic.
Well, we got some comments so we can go over here and some questions, and then we'll wrap it up. It's going to take a little while to go through
Oh
these.
my God, there was so many comments. My God, I couldn't believe it.
That was comments
Yeah,
off
it was
of.
unbelievable. But it's true. I mean, there's no other way to look at it, man. There's just you can. I don't care if you're looking at it any other way. You're looking at it the wrong way.
And in the conspiracy corner, somebody said, "Yeah, you need to call it the conspiracy corner." That was a good idea. That was Jesus for survivors. And Chip Crewy, he says, "I don't know about all these conspiracy theories, but the birds aren't real." And then Carol, the cake girl, says, "The conspiracy theory about the birds being not real is stupid because in the spring there's poop all over my Jeep." Yeah, you know, if there are some fake birds, I know there's definitely some real ones out there because they do shit all over mine. And then somebody says, "Arby's chicken sandwich is 2 for $6." So they like eating the human meat. You know, it's one of that story I told about how that girl I knew, that truck driver, burned up, and when she opened the cab, it smelled like Arby's roast beef.
Oh, people are lined up at that Chick-fil-A, and I'm seeing some bad stuff about that.
Oh,
Chick-fil-A.
yeah,
You can leave that stuff out, and it don't mold. It's like a McDonald's hamburger. It don't go bad.
Yeah,
The people are lined up there, and I've had that before. It tastes pretty good. I don't know what they're making out of something, man.
Well, you know, Kentucky Fried Chicken tastes good, but I heard it was nasty. You know, who knows anymore? I would have trusted that stuff back in the day, you know, back when I was a kid growing up. I don't think there was anything wrong with it back then, but now they figured out how to cut corners and everything. So, but anyway, we'll move into the other comments we got here, and
yeah, I saw there one of them posts said that nowadays there's 90 different illnesses we have, but 100 years ago we got 90 different kind of foods that we eat these days, and we got 90 different kind of illnesses you know, from than we did 100 years ago.
you know, I was asking that 103-year-old lady what she ate. You know, I just eat a little fruit, you know, and she even said, yeah, I like to eat fried chicken, and I just don't eat a lot. And I remember there was this old black guy when I worked for my uncle. I used to make custom area rugs, and they donated one to this guy named Charlie Smith, and he was like the oldest American. And at the time, he was like 115 or something. The guy was alive during the Civil War, and I met him. And he helped me carry the rug in the house. And I was asking him, I was doing interviews back then, even I was interviewing him. I was saying, "Hey man, what kind of stuff do you eat?" And he said every morning he had a tomato sandwich. He would make he would eat a couple slices of tomato on some bread, and he would every now and then he would eat bacon with it. But these people, they weren't eating a healthy diet. Some of them that are living over into their past 100. They're I guess they just got good
I've heard
DNA,
people say that, man, if you do like a 2 or 3 day fast, like 2 or 3 times a month, you'll freaking live forever. Because
Could
that's how
be.
you get rid of the poison. That's how if you don't eat, your body will eat. When you eat, you get poison in you, and then when you fast, your body your body is set up to kill all that poison, so that when you eat again and then you don't eat for a few days, your body has time to kill all that
That
poison
makes
food
sense.
that you ate. Yeah, it's really weird, but they said, yeah, if you do that, you'll just about live forever because you can't get sick because your body keeps killing the.
That, and you need to sweat a lot because you sweat the toxins out, like I'm doing right now with my air conditioner being
That's
broke.
that's why I take hot baths every night, man. I sweat big time, or saunas, or yeah, I love taking saunas and taking hot baths. I sweat, man.
But
I get out of that tub and I sweat for 10, 15 minutes.
now they're saying a cold bath is good, like a ice
Yeah,
cold.
you take a hot one and then you take a cold shower. Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
take as cold as you can take it. I can't do that much anymore. I can a little bit, but I don't like that cold anymore.
Oh, you remember that jacket, that Cassie Gaines jacket?
Yeah,
Turns
yeah.
out, turns out, Sunflower Lover says that's actually in the Steve and Cassie Gaines Museum up there in Oklahoma, and so it must have been one they gave her, Craig, because it's in the museum, and
Huh.
it's on a mannequin bust with her dress, and then the jacket's over the top of that. Now, when I go up there, I'll check it out and see if her name's on it. If
Yeah, it
anybody, if
don't say
anybody's
Cassie on it. It's not hers. Because they all had our name on it. I saw cousin Figel resent me that thing for Ronnie's hat today from Pawn Stars, and the guy, he offered him 10 grand for the hat, and he turned it down. But they finally ended up getting it. But that's not Ronnie's hat. So
I
but
mean,
cousin Figel, that somebody offered cousin, we kind of promoted that hat here last time on the show, and somebody did offer him 2 grand. He said they couldn't go 3 grand, but cousin Figel said he wanted 3 grand, or he just getting buried with it, because so
I think it's worth 3 grand, man.
yeah.
That's a pretty nice, it's the actual hat, that Ronnie used to. I mean, that was made by the
That's
guy that made it for Ronnie, and then
that's
all those
that's from
names.
this first Freebird Foundation auction. Yeah, and I think on the last podcast I misspoke and said it was made by Charlie One Horse, and it was made by Texas Hatters.
Oh, it wasn't made by Charlie One Horse.
No, I think it's made by Texas Hatters now. I noticed. Every once in a while I'll say something and then I'll watch it back. I go, wow. I
Well, they'll
said,
correct you. They'll definitely correct you, which that's good. I mean, they keep us in line. So
yeah.
that's just like if anybody's seen that jacket up there in the Gaines Museum, let us know if it's got her name on the front, because I'd
Yeah,
be
they all
curious
had
to see
their
that.
name written in cursive. Yeah,
But you said though that the jackets came out before she was in the band, though,
I
didn't you?
swear that red jacket came out. It came out. I swear the red one came out before that blue one came out. The blue one is the one that had the '76 logo Yeah, the blue one was the one that had the 76 logo on it, and it had Lynyrd Skynyrd. It was blue with a red Lynyrd Skynyrd on the back, and it was a heavier bomber jacket with a furry collar. And that was before that one, so it had to be 75, and that was before Cassie.
Oh,
So I don't understand, you know. You
They
know, we're
have
living
to-
in a matrix. There could be something flaw in the matrix here these days.
It'll be a glitch.
It could be some kind of a glitch in the
A
matrix.
glitch in the matrix. And then Sunflower, she goes, Craig, I'm glad to see you got good loving from a fat Mexican girl. The fat girls need loving too.
Ah. Oh God. Yeah.
See, so all those ladies out there that says Craig's picking on them for being fat, Craig's not. He's not picking on you. He likes a little heavy girl every now and then.
No,
too.
I don't either. That was a one-time thing. Yeah.
Oh, Sweet User says, I bet you're sitting on a small fortune with all the Skynyrd memorabilia. He says, I would gladly purchase any of those items to help Craig out. Well,
Which
he
item
can't
is
find
that?
them. He can't find any of them. He can't find the tackle box. He can't find the room keys.
I
He
think
can't
I put
find
all
the-
that stuff away so I couldn't sell it. After I sold a bunch of stuff, I go, God, I wish I wouldn't have sold that. There's
And
stuff
every
wish
time I talk
wouldn't
to
have
Craig,
sold.
he is working on sending that stuff out. He's getting a little closer every day. So
Yeah.
you guys hang in there. I keep bugging him.
Well, I gotta make it so I can get on here and formulate it so I can run through who gets what and everything and do it quickly and promptly and like it's all together and
If you just do one a week, just do one a week
well, I
until
got to do them all at once because I got to all it's all got to be once I get the figure for one of them, I got to get the figures because they're all different. Because
Speaking of that, I got the this is Jerry Birchie's. This is what it looks like. I'm sending it out today, Jerry. It's all done, man. And that Sammy talking about the thing's too short or too long. No, it ain't, because this stem goes in
oh
there.
yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah, he said
know?
this.
And ain't nothing
Well,
wrong with it because it holds water all the way up to here. And when you get the water around that stem, it cools it better. So who's the rocket scientist here, Dan?
Sammy uses his a lot. He said, but the stem's too long. He said, but that
But
glass.
it ain't hurt nothing because it gets it away from you. Where
But
you
you
go to
can't,
light
you
it,
can't,
can
you
see
can't,
it.
you can't pull that thing when you're taking a hit. You can't pull that thing out and shotgun. It'll kill you. There's
Oh,
just
I
too
know.
much in there. Yeah, I
But
don't
anyway.
have one anymore. I was using those. I kind of missed it, but I've been using my coffee.
Well, I'll have to make you another one. And then Sweet User says, I bet you're sitting on. Oh, I already read that one. Jeff says, how about have Craig's friends from the Crazy House come on the podcast?
Oh, Art. I should get Art to come on. I have to have Art to come on. He's the only one alive anymore, I think.
So that's
Yeah,
where
they're all
that's
dead.
where you were living when you thought you were going to get busted, and then you went down to the hotel, and that's when you met Skynyrd because you were hiding out.
Yeah, I went Art Reed. My name's Reed, and his name is Reed D.
No,
So
really?
so he always sat behind me in school because we went in alphabetical order. I was Reed, and he was Reed D. He was always behind me all through school.
South VA Ronnie says he went back and looked at some past comments on some of the other podcasts, and he says his comments are gone now. Well, I think if they don't like your comments, they'll get rid of them. That's AI screening it. David
I don't get
Sellers-
rid of any comments. I've got it set so it's not set. It's set on the most current comments. It's not set on the top comments. It's
Well,
set
YouTube's taking them down.
it's set on the most current comments.
YouTube's taking them down because
I was
they don't
noticing
like 'em.
I was looking at somebody's page today, and they have a place where you can comment, but your comments are limited to who they choose to comment, I guess. I like to look at all the comments.
I
we don't
like
get any bad ones. Every now and then we'll get.
Sour user likes to sour.
It's
I
mostly
see.
that we don't get enough skinformation. We're getting tired of the flat Earth. And
this one guy,
don't get no information.
Mike Neighbors, he said, "Stop with the conspiracy theories and do more Skynyrd." Well, you got to take the good with the bad with the good, man. You got to take the bad with the good. We're trying to wake your ass up.
Yeah.
So when the grid goes down, you won't be, wondering where you're going to get you. You won't have to, be scrounging in the trash for meals. I mean, I'm all ready. I got my water and I got my food and everything, and I'm not going to tell anybody where I'm going to be hiding.
Kamala says you got to be woke, though. You got to be more woker or more woke.
And when Trump heard that, he said anything that
these
woke turns to shit.
Oh, they got her up 8 points or something. It's a God.
And that plane, when it pulled up to the tarmac, they're saying that's not even real. That's a artificial audience there.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't. And then who was it? Were you telling me they were paying people $200? Oh, that was Chad said they're paying
per hour. Yeah. Actors. They're paying
them $200 to come to the rallies.
Come to the rally, yeah.
Just like they were paying the BLM.
Then they have them have it at some kind of rap show, and they have they're using every trick in the book, yeah. Deceptive.
David Selder says Dazed with Jordan the Lion has a detailed version of Graham Parsons at Joshua Tree. Yeah, he also he went to that concert that I threw for my buddy, and he recorded and he actually videotaped Craig's movies. So if you look at Days with Jordan the Lion, he went to the concert that I threw in Lakeland at the Polk Theater. And Craig was up on stage with Joe Barnes and Gene Odom, and I think he videotaped that. So if you want to check that out. But I'm working on that Graham Parsons. It's not going to be anything like a real big deal, but I'm just going to go over to where he grew up, and I'm going to see if I can't go get Carlton. This guy, he played in his band. His name's Carlton, and he owns a music store here. And maybe I can do an interview with him. I'm going to work on that. My buddy Jay told me about that. So,
yeah, those are you got just about my entire library of films that I gave you. I think it's got a watermark on it though.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
but
some of it doesn't.
It played in there. Just about all my films was on that tape, and it just
that was the first time Gene had ever seen those.
Oh, really?
And he was up, and then he got upset, and he had to go somewhere else because he said, "Man, I never seen that before," and it upset him. I felt bad.
Yeah, because the ones they used in Freebird the movie, and they've used in other things. They used about 5 or 6 or maybe 10 seconds at a time, and there's they left out a lot of the in between parts. So. There's a lot people haven't seen.
Then Backcountry Hunter, I guess he saw that video you trying to get in. He says about being denied to getting in backstage to Lynyrd Skynyrd's concert. He said the fact that they claim Christianity and sell whiskey, pushing that liquor, you'd think they would be more polite. There's a lot of people pissed off about you not being able to get back there, Craig.
Yeah, I got little feedback from it too. That yeah.
Triple R Triple T said it was Artie and JoJo that played on the Atlanta Rhythm Section album. Yeah, I didn't never even knew that. So it wasn't
Wasn't
Leslie. I guess
Leslie.
it was
Yeah.
JoJo. You didn't know that, Craig?
I
didn't
didn't.
know
I
that.
didn't know it either. No. Like I
Huh.
said, I did Artemis's drums, but I must have.
If I ever get to sit down with Artie, I mean, I've talked to him on the phone, but I've never sat down with him, and he probably. I have to go incognito because he don't like the Stone Roadie show. So if he knows who I am, he might not talk to me. But Larry Tate knows him. He talks to him all the time. So he's just getting misinformation about a Stone Roadie show because he
I
thinks
don't
because
know.
Gene's on here that we're trying to sell stuff and make money off the plane crash survivors and we're keeping the money and all this, and then you sold the funeral brochure, and yeah, he's got some shit stuck in his craw over all that, but he doesn't understand how it really works. Let me see here.
I donated the money for that funeral brochure to Mark Howard to get his leg.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I don't know. It seems like if they're mad, say they're mad about that, they're really mad about something else.
No, that's not the real deal. They just
I
don't.
can't figure it out. I don't know. We used to be good friends. I don't know. No, this whole thing about me with Lynyrd Skynyrd is very puzzling. It's after
Gene
being
says
so
that
close
he.
with them, it's just
Gene's
kind of funny.
Gene says that they don't want anybody to know that there was an original Lynyrd Skynyrd before them. And I'm like, Gene, that ain't true because, they put all the people up on the screen that are no longer with us, and and they show movies of Ronnie, and so I don't know. I think they just don't. They just don't want people. It was such a. I know it was a traumatic thing for Johnny losing his brother like that, and I can understand that, it upsets him, but it's been a long time, and these guys, they don't deserve that. I think, I mean, everybody else has gotten past it. And if they can get past it, then, I think everybody can get past it.
Well, this band's gonna live a lot. We'll all be dead and gone, but this band will still be here unless there's another mud flood and history gets wiped out again, But yeah, I was watching something today, and these two guys were going, There's not another band on earth that has this kind of a legendary following.
No, I mean the music's good.
They're trying to figure out why. It's just like, was it Ronnie's? The way Ronnie was, just his personality, or
it's everything.
Was it? It was just, yeah, it was just a lot of it had to do with Sharon Lawrence was their first publicist, and she kind of gave him this larger than life type image, and that's kind of really.
What happened to her? Is she still around?
She just passed away not recently. Yeah.
She did?
Yeah. She's got a book. She started out with Elton John and Jimi Hendrix.
Is she the one that made the cake for him out in California? That cake?
I don't remember that. Sharon Lawrence.
Yeah, there's a picture of
She did a book called "You
Ronnie.
So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star," and had some stuff.
There's a picture of Ronnie.
Yeah.
Ronnie's holding a cake out in California, and I heard I think that she made that cake for him. I thought. But
she gave them that larger than life image. I swear that's kind of what did it. She gave him that image, and people just stuck, because the image they had is a bunch of bikers and stuff. The only one that could really ride a motorcycle was Artimus, and.
He could ride the horse. He rode the horses and the motorcycle.
Yeah, but none of them rode motorcycles.
a lot of people don't realize that Artie's he's got to put a lift in his shoe because his leg's shorter because
Yeah, it's got quite a lift in his shoe.
Yeah, he's got trouble with his leg, man. He's got. I don't think they would let Artie in there, even if he tried to.
They would.
If he tried to go backstage, hey, I'm Artimus Pyle, the original drummer, and they'd go like, "No, you're not welcome."
Oh yeah. I don't know. After this, they might, if they've got some kind of a rule that nobody, because they might have that rule. It's all business with them anymore. You know, they got this rule that nobody gets in. You know, you just can't call and get a backstage pass. You got to pay to get in. You know, they might have that really strict rule. I don't know, but.
No, I ain't buying that shit, Craig. They should have let you in, man. That was rude.
Yeah, it was pretty inconsiderate.
Not saying it was the band that did it, but
no, it wasn't the band. It was either the manager or it wasn't the tour. I don't think it was a tour manager, and it was it was probably the production manager. There's a production manager, there's a stage manager, there's a production assistant, but it wasn't the stage. It was supposed to be the tour manager, but I don't think it was a tour manager. I think it was a production manager. But I think I think they called the manager, and he's the one that.
Well, just think about this,
because he's the one that tried to get me thrown out of the show that I worked. I was working, so.
Well, just think about this. Suppose that Ricky and Johnny and those guys, they were somewhere in an interview, and they were to go, hey. You know, how's the plane crash survivors doing? You know, what would they say? What would they say?
I don't know what.
Oh well, yeah, they're doing all right. No, they're not doing all right. You know, I mean, somebody might ask that question sometime. Somebody might ask that question sometime. I might ask that question sometime. Let me see here. Roger Johnson asks, Griff, is that a Fender Princeton amp behind you? Yes, that little, as a matter of fact, that amp right there is like a 60s era tube amp. And Mike Estes wants that freaking amp really bad. He told me, man, he goes, I want to buy that amp from you. And my buddy Jay said, man, that, and I know for a fact there's been a lot of recording on that particular amp right there, the guy I bought it from. And it's a great sounding amp. I just wish I could play the freaking guitar good enough, but that amp is a screamer, man. It's a nice amp. But Mike Estes got first dibs on it if I ever sell it, and who knows, I might be selling it pretty soon. Everything around in my house is breaking, the freaking air conditioner and then I cut my finger too, just like I was laughing about old Mark Howard. And instead of going and getting stitches, last time I went and got stitches, it cost me $5,000. It was like $1,000 a stitch. And I had that crappy unaffordable healthcare insurance, but I got the good insurance now, so I can afford to cut myself. But yeah, that amp, it's a nice little amp. Let me see. David Hester says, he's seen a lot of stagehands around the stage in Oakland. A guy looked like you, Craig, backstage in Oakland. Do you ever take note of yourself backstage in any of these old reels?
No, I've never seen myself backstage at any of the ones at Oakland.
Well, people spot you all the time, like that one where you were back there messing around with Artie's drums, and that was like black and white.
Oh yeah, that one. Matter of fact, that one surprised me. I forgot about that one. When the band went off for the encore, I was back there messing with the drums the whole time that they were off stage.
Yeah, like for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, that one surprised me. I hadn't saw that one.
Yeah, I mean, that was a long time ago. I ain't kidding. That's got to be, some great memories for you, though. But you and I have known each other as long as you were in Skynyrd and the original Skynyrd. It was only like what, 4 years?
Yeah, not even 4 years. Yeah, three and 3/4 years is all I knew them. Yeah.
I mean, you went on and worked for the tribute band, and you still worked for Gary and Leon and Ed and all those guys. You were still, they were still around, just missing Ronnie.
Yeah, we were talking about how close I was to the original band. We were all like family when I said that, when I got off tour with Journey, I was here at home, and Gary called me at home here, and there was a friend of mine here, Steve Etheridge, and he's the one that he's a guitar player, and he reminded me that he was here when Gary called, and I came in the house, and I went back outside, and I said, wow, that was Gary Rossington. He wants me to come back to work with the band. And Steve said, well, who's in the band? And I said, well, Gary said it was him and me and Alan so far. So, I was pretty high on the totem pole, I guess, as far as.
Well, there was a guy who used to, I think he was around like in the really early days, and he used to play with him, play harmonica or something. I forget the guy's name.
Lee Freeman.
No, it wasn't him. He used to have like a podcast, or not a podcast, but he would tell stories about hanging around with Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Oh, that guy, though, tall guy, skinny guy.
Yeah, he's
older
dead
guy.
now.
Yeah, I think he died, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and he was talking about you ain't never spent time with Skynyrd till you had to sleep in the bed with Ed King.
I don't remember that guy.
No?
I've heard stories, and it's real peculiar that he knows things he knows, but I don't remember ever seeing that guy. Of course, the doctor told me there was going to be things I don't remember, and that might be.
Well, I think he was around before you, so
I never seen him. Ed wasn't around that long before I was. It was a year maybe.
See, I was, I guess I was talking about Gary Busey, and this guy Ronnie 5129 says Craig is a team player, and as the song says, lend a helping hand, which Craig did, which shows his loyalty. And then Griff, Gary Busey had a bad motorcycle accident where his brains fell out of his head, and they put him back together. Yeah, he looks kind of jacked up now. I guess.
Really?
I know what I was talking about him when he was talking about butter sausage. Buttered sausage. Remember you were talking about putting butter in your coffee?
Yeah, I do that all the time now.
Yeah, and Gary Busey was talking about, let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage. His eye is all messed up, and he's got these pet birds, and they're on his head now, and he does all these interviews, man. He's a freaking wingnut, man. He's gone through some shit. I'd like to get him on here. Maybe we can get him on here somehow. Get Gary Busey on here. That would be cool as shit.
Getting way off topic here. Yellowstone, that movie Yellowstone that had oh God, what was his name? Val Kilmer in it. Remember? And he said, "I'll be your Huckleberry."
Oh, that wasn't Yellowstone. That was God. Now I can't remember.
Tombstone.
But no. Tombstone. Yeah, Tombstone.
Tombstone. I'll be your Huckleberry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Did you hear
the real definition of where a huckleberry is?
Yeah, it's a pallbearer. It's a pallbearer.
A huckle is the latch.
Yeah.
On the casket, and it's hucklebearer.
Right,
Instead of berry, it's
hucklebearer,
hucklebearer, which means
Yeah.
I'll be the bearer of your huckle. So I'll.
In other words, he'll kill him and he'll take him to his grave. And
Everybody thinks
that
I'll be your huckleberry, but it's actually I'll be your hucklebearer.
Right. Yeah.
I'll carry your casket, I guess.
That's
so
a
there's
great
some
movie.
worthless information for you.
That's a great movie. And then talk about a guy who went through some shit was that Val Kilmer, man, with that throat cancer. And him and Michael Douglas had the same cancer. And they said it was from, well, I don't want to get too graphic about it, but they said it was oral sex with the ladies caused it. That's
no kidding.
Yeah, that's that papilloma virus. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess, when you're in Hollywood, you do a lot of that stuff, maybe. But I don't know. I hope I don't get it. But anyway, Craig, that's all the comments, and I'm about to burn up here in this office. I got to go get my air conditioned room. I got a freaking air conditioner guy'd come out, put me a new AC in. So let's wrap it up.
All right. Well, that was podcast number 208 of the Stone Roadie Show. And happy trails to you until we meet again. And see you later, alligator at the Wild Crocodile. And that's a wrap.